something different. We doing reaction videos and just catching up with celebrities and stuff like that. So I this is my second time doing this, so I hope y'all enjoy. And we're gonna jump straight into it for real. So first up, we got hopefully it plays because it seems like it don't want to play. It's moving fast on this side. I'm moving slow. Hold on. Yeah, it's definitely doing too much. This is what we wanted to see. This is what we wanted to watch. Facts.
That makes sense because y'all have multiple
I
accounts.
done went through all these documents. Y'all ain't getting the voice for the people right now. Y'all getting Kim from New York, okay? Did she put the air tag in the vitamin bottle in the car? Hallie, Child, I was reading it like, oh my god. Child was popping up at the movie theater using the air tag. Okay, let's go through the beginning. So Hallie originally filed for full custody and a restraining order and child support. And she also asked the judge, can she take her son to Italy because she has to go to work for 2 months. And she's supposed to leave June 7th. And DDG today filed for a restraining order in full custody. And he's also asking the judge not to allow her to go to Italy because he's saying that she self-harmed herself and that she has repeatedly done this throughout their relationship, basically saying that the child is not protected in her custody, so she might not even go to Italy come June 7th. But when I tell you I read all these pages and my mouth was on the floor, and I mean he had text message after text message. Child, what the hell?
Text message
this
what?
started
Going crazy?
March 2022. This is before the pregnancy. This is their first incident where she didn't trust him. She basically
Let me pause this. I want to read. I want to see. I want to see what we looking at here, cause I already know niggas be tripping. So let's bring some light on the situation. The earliest documented incident occurred March. You know what? Let me keep going.
was
She
accusing him of
she killing
cheating,
it
and
right
they
now.
got into this argument, and he left, and she said that she was going to off herself. So she was basically using this tactic to try to
Bro,
get him
off
to
the
come
rip.
back and make him feel
When
guilty
you
for
talking
leaving
like
in the first
that,
place. So she has been doing this
it's
throughout
best
their
to give the
relationship.
child
Then
to the
DDG
father,
also mentioned when he DM'd
especially
Ruby
if the father
Rose,
got
and
money.
Hallie was very upset. They got into this big huge argument behind it. She ended up texting, well, he didn't put who the person was, but Baby Rich already hinted at it already. She ended up texting Brent Fires that night to go to a Grammys party just to get
Brent,
back at DDG. Now DDG was done with the relationship.
you know it's crazy. Brent Fayez is my favorite artist. He's my favorite artist right now. That man, yo, he get them females going crazy. And if you think I'm lying, and when you get some hugs around, y'all drinking and stuff, you gotta play some Brent Fayez.
At that point,
He like the
but
R&B
she was
toxic
trying to
king.
get, even though she did that, she was
She
trying
don't
to
even
get
seem
back
like
with him, and she
it's
yet
tight
again
for
was
real.
using the self-harming tactic that she does.
I'm waiting
But
for
now
my
let's talk
boy
about the
Sturdy
actual
to get on.
pregnancy. One night Hallie called DDG and said that she was bleeding and having cramps, so he called the GYN, and this was early on in her pregnancy. He called the GYN and found out that she took an abortion pill, and that's why she
Oh,
was
she
bleeding
wild.
and cramping, because she was trying to get rid of the baby because she was upset. And according to DDG, she was using the pregnancy to try to manipulate him. When he didn't do what she wanted him to do, she would threaten him and say that she's gonna get rid of the baby. And
Yo, I used to deal with this. Not the whole aborting or whatever she's trying to do, that weird stuff she's trying to do. But that manipulation stuff, it ain't right, yo. And males got feelings. So her playing that game is crazy.
and they already had a conversation about co-parenting if things didn't work out. I guess Hallie didn't want to do that, so she had the pill without notifying him, and then he found out about it, and then, you know, they got into this argument, and then he didn't want to talk to her no more, but then she felt some type of way about the situation, and she wanted to really be with him, and now she's trying to go to the medical appointments so she could keep her baby and make sure that the baby wasn't harmed, which she kept reassuring DDG that the baby was okay. The pill didn't do anything because she didn't take the second pill, but at this point he was upset because if we already had a discussion
How many
and you
months
got
was the
upset,
baby?
and based off of you getting upset for that very moment and you ready to make a big change or make this drastic decision without me, like, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was just, child was just a lot. So fast forward, they ended up getting back together. More toxic shit was going on. They ended up getting
I'm not gonna lie. I would have left her. Right there, that was strike. Yo, listen, strike one. Always got canceled them off with strike one. No cap.
to an argument again. They ended up breaking up. At this point, Hallie is well off into her pregnancy, and they're now broken up again. And DDG,
It's
who
crazy
now
how
has
many
more
people
time on
be
his hands,
fascinated
is
by
going
this.
to the studio. He's hanging out with his friends, and there was an incident where he went to a movie theater. Hallie popped up at the movie theater because he was there with a girl,
Psycho.
but he said in the statement that this was just a friend. But Hallie is like 6+ months at this point, so she's very upset because they're not together, and then you're out and about with somebody else. But he not knowing how she
I ain't
even
even gonna say
knew
nothing.
that they were at this movie. Come to
That
find out,
remind me
she
of
was putting
somebody.
air tags in all his cars. DDG was wondering why he was
Strike two. That's strike two right there. Air tags and everything is crazy. Strike one is not bad at strike two. I want to see if it was a strike three.
getting notifications
Now, this is
that
getting
an air
interesting.
tag was tracking him when he didn't have an air tag. It was her air tag. She put it in the car inside of a vitamin bottle, knowing he wasn't gonna look at no vitamin bottle, and she put it inside of the car. And the
She's hard. Put it in the vitamin bottle is crazy. That's hard. I'm not gonna lie. That's something different. That's spicy. That's really spicy.
tracking where he went.
Yo, she backing
When
up
Hallie
because
arrived
it's
at the movie
funny.
theater, sis was turning up. Okay, sis was screaming before she even got in. She opened the door and didn't even know where he was at. She said, "Motherfucker, motherfucker." Bitch. Sis was going off using every profanity word she could think of
Yo, she
inside
hard.
that movie theater. It was so bad that DDG and the girl had to get up and leave, where she ended up following behind them and was still cursing them out, calling them all type of names, trying to fight the girl, put hands on the girl. The girl had to kind of move it. You know, she ain't trying to fight Hallie because at this point,
Yo, she
Hallie
hard.
is good and pregnant at this point. She got a whole belly. I don't even understand how we didn't even capture this footage. Okay, where
That's
was the
hard.
people at in the movie theaters? Child, you know something like
Yo,
that.
Lay, what's up with
Ready-
you?
They
You
don't
heard
know
what
who
she
you are,
said,
ready to
though?
Throw their camera up. The Little Mermaid was turning up in the movie theater, honey. She ain't care about who the hell.
She said, Shorty put an air tag in everything and tracked them down to the movies with another female. It's crazy.
She was at that moment. Y'all was about to feel his wrath. Now let's fast forward a little bit because
That's
after she
crazy.
gave birth to Halo, before she even gave birth to Halo, at this point DDG felt like he had to be with her in order for her not to do something to harm their child or herself. And she
See,
knew
that's the
this,
crazy
and she was
part.
trying to use this.
That's another crazy part, bro. That's another sign of manipulation. Because it's like he reintroduced himself back to something he already knew it wasn't good for him, for real. Listen, I'll tell you this right now. I'm not getting back on nobody after strike one, strike two. Brother, I don't even want to say she crazy. Because I done already heard she ain't really been in no real relationship. So, knowing him, he a player for real. He keep it P for real. He a player. But I don't think that's the one you supposed to be playing with for real. Females like that, bro, you don't play with. You can't play with females like that, especially and they never been in no real relationship. Can't play with them, bro. I think everybody know they first ever breakup. I don't care what nobody say. If you ever got with a girl before you really, really liked her, bro, you trip. That's just what it
as a
is.
manipulation tactic to try to keep him, basically, because at that point he was done with her.
They
You
both playing the
screaming
same
at me,
game.
you're beating on me, you pulling out knobs, you're trying to cut me up. Child, DDG at some point was done, but he couldn't be completely done because now you done welcomed a baby in this situation. They had the baby, right? And everything was going well. They were still trying to make things work. And then another incident happened where they got into another argument, and now firearms were pulled out because DDG has
Normally,
a
Sturdy
firearm,
would
and
be
Hallie
here.
knows that, and she stays in the house. Allegedly, she
Because
pulled out
Sturdy,
the
my
firearm
man, he gonna
because
comment. And
he
we
already
both gonna
left
go
the
back and
house,
forth
and
on
she left the
the
house with the firearm looking for him and
social.
wondering where he was at.
That's
And
my
according
mans
to
when I
him,
do
he
this.
said that she was insecure. She always thought he was cheating on her. She always thought that he was doing something other than what he was saying. So sis was just, it was just a lot. She's driving in the car after an argument with Halo in the back. She's crying, yelling at him on the phone. At this point, DDG is scared for his son's life and her life because she's mad and yelling and driving fast, you know, and he's on the phone. He can't do nothing about it. And then another incident kept happening, and then it just keep reoccurring at this point. It's coming too close together. Before it was like, you know, we had some gaps in between. We have little arguments, blowouts and stuff like that, and it had some time. And now it's reoccurring too fast. Okay, she's hitting him and slapping him in front of the family. She's calling him all type of names. The son is there. He sees this. It's just becoming too toxic. And at this point, DDG had to walk away from. They broke up. They went their own separate ways. This is when she bought her house. He bought his penthouse. But Hallie is saying that she is the primary parent, and she's trying to control the situation according to DDG. She doesn't allow DDG to see the child as punishment because he didn't do what she wanted him to do. And at this point, it was becoming tiresome. Y'all know he came to the incident. Now fast forward to the incident that she brought up in her statement when he went to go pick up Halo, because she said
Co-pilot gonna give you facts and information. Says right here. Number one, Halle Bailey is not only okay. See, we don't need to know all that. We need to stay on topic. Summarize this video. This video discusses an ongoing legal battle between DDG and Halle Bailey, focusing on the court document that allegedly exposed new details about their conflict. It highlights accusations and counterclaims and the broader amplification of their dispute, particularly regarding their child. The commentary suggests that both parties have engaged in toxic behavior, with DDG attempting to protect Bailey's image before resorting to legal action. The video also touches a public reaction and speculation about Bailey's mental health and motivation. Oh, I bet.
that he could stay overnight. And when he was picking up Halo and she had Halo in her arms and she wanted to put the baby in the car, he said in the midst of them having a conversation, he saw that she was getting agitated and frustrated, and he really didn't want to have the conversation. And it started to escalate. They started to argue, and she refused to get out the car. She ended up locking herself in the car. Then he ended up calling his mom because he didn't know what to do in the situation. So the mom was here for everything. So I'm pretty sure we gonna have the mom testify because he called his mom for everything. Oh, let's go back because there was so much that happened. I forgot about this part. DDG, Halle Bailey, and Halo went to a Bruno Mars concert, and at the concert,
Switch it up. We're gonna see what's up. Yo, cause this whole thing is interesting for her. I'll be at work. I'll be watching all this, so I just wanna get in part of the action for her. Put my own mental thoughts in this, cause I'm a father. So it's like it's crazy to see other people go through stuff like this because I'm glad I got myself together because I could have been one of these type of people in this relationship. No cap. Nah, I don't want to see that. We're going to hit them with the mini clips. The mini clips are always the best. You get like the most information. Let me see these. Oh, she has been granted permission. It's crazy. I mean, I think it's too late for that now. I mean, it's been a while since they. She's probably good now. She like a nature person. Crazy.
Who's mad? Who's mad? Who's mad?
This nigga's brutal.
So DDG is asking a judge to stop Haley Bailey from taking their son Halo out of the country for work because he says she's emotionally unstable, suicidal, and
She
is
don't
a
even be
danger to
having
their
them
son's
for real.
safety
The
and to
babysitter
others'
be having
safety.
them.
So DDG,
At least that's what I
submitted
see.
these docs in response to some things that in response to her request to go out of the country and in response to some of the things that she had filed previously. He says that there are several instances that show all of these things that spanned over several years. So there's a bunch of text messages that he included in this doc, like a ton of
you know how
photos of
embarrassing this is?
alleged like bruises he received from their physical altercations and different
They still
conversations that
got
they
the
had.
knives.
So
This is definitely
DDG
a woman's world.
I do something. She won't link. Pull up to the phone.
He ain't talking about no paper. He can't get behind this. He call me some.
What the f*** is? I hit Q Mill.
Ray is funny.
You can ask the flowers. I sit for hours. Tell it. Birds of a.
Like your brother a 6'8" point guard, your other brother a 6'6" point guard, and you 6'5", and you a power forward.
On me.
Something missing, like you know what I mean. Something's just not good. If you wanna try to make the G League, make the league, do your thing. But some it's not good enough. Yeah, they would have took a chance, bro. If you gonna make the league, you gonna make the league at.
Academics is cool. They be tripping sometimes. Let me see this. I want to see this. Why ain't playing? Oh, I bet. It's a ow. I ain't gonna be here that long. Trust me. I ain't gotta worry about that. I probably won't play. I know a lot, but I know too little.
The future of your business is here. With Wix, you get advanced AI capabilities for more customization, more time, and more growth. Speed up your website copy with an AI text generator that delivers a consistent brand voice to every corner of your site. Unlimited unique visuals enhance every piece of content you create, instantly transform.
Let's see what this man got to say.
They got me feeling like I'm academics.
Got it out for men because she got to pay her baby daddy child support. Somebody says, okay, they're talking about that sex worker that was talking about Tori, I guess. Let me go look at what's going on with DDG, because I just seen something on the Shade Room, and it appears that Hallie is now taking it officially to family court, and she has filed for sole and legal physical custody of her son Halo, according to People. Hallie Bailey requests sole legal and physical custody of her son Halo and asks the court to prevent ex-DDG from taking him out of L.A. In a recent court filing, Hallie Bailey accused her ex and father of her son, DDG of abuse. She was
I'll be
granted a
interested
restraining
in
order.
that
Now it looked
stuff,
like she's
bro.
seeking sole, legal, and
I don't know
physical custody
why.
of her son, according to documents obtained by
I
people.
don't be having nothing
She's
bad
looking to get
saying.
sole
I just
physical
be
custody.
speaking
She's
my
also
mind
asking
for
the
about
judge to
certain
order
shit.
DDG not be allowed visitation with their son, but supervised visits with the professional companies once a week for 6 hours while Halo's in Los
That
Angeles.
is overdoing
Hallie asking
it,
the court to
bro.
prevent DDG from taking their
You
son
know how
outside
mad
Los
I'd be
Angeles.
as a father,
Doctors,
bro?
Hallie also requests to order to prevent child abduction, as she claimed DDG has a history of abusing her, taking away or hiding her son from her, and threatening to take their son and hide him, and not cooperating when it comes to co-parenting. Hallie also asked the judge to order DDG not to move with Halo unless she gives her written permission. Chat, didn't I tell you this? A lot of times when you have a baby mama, you signed up for a ball. If you want to be a
Niggas
father,
definitely
you're either
signed
gonna
up
be a
for
deadbeat,
this.
and then they're gonna tax you up in goddamn court, or you're gonna have to acknowledge that's your boss. I've been told y'all this, Chad. Listen, I broke down this play long time ago, man. Hallie looks at DDG. She's one of the women who don't look at having a child as a 50-50 partnership and, hey, we needed your egg, we needed your sperm. She looks at it as, that's my child, and you're the babysitter. I'm the boss.
That's
and
right.
if you want to see your kid,
I'm not gonna
you better
lie,
operate
bro.
under my
I'm not gonna cap, bro. That's how it be. That's how I be really feeling for real. When y'all not linked and on good terms, bro. That's how they look at you, the babysitter, bro.
my rules. I've been telling y'all this, chat. Halle Bailey sees herself as the boss. She has never, in any of these filings, she's not talking about, okay, we'll mutually tell each, because that's all you got to do. Have the courts put it in writing. We'll mutually tell each other when we're going to go A, B, and C.
That is crazy.
Put that in writing, that if one breaks the rules, but she's not talking about where she could bring the kid. By the way, with this restraining order, she brought the kid to Italy. But she says he can't bring the kid out of Los Angeles. Come on now. As I said, a lot of times when you have a baby mama, it's only a matter of time. She thinks she's your boss. DDG been acting up to her in her mind. Trust me, her girlfriend's been in her ear. Damn, you gonna make that nigga embarrass you? I told you, you could have done better. You with this nigga? Yo, shit. You to the point where she's like she needs to get compliance from him. Compliance is going to teach that nigga that he's not the boss. The boss is Hallie. And I think this is quite sad. I don't agree with any type of abuse, but we also have to understand women, if you have blackmail, I call this blackmail. With all due respect, I respect the
blackmail.
The cycle of domestic violence or people who are victims of domestic violence. And I know, and shit, we're covering this one with Cassie, how hard it is to leave. But please understand this as I'm saying it out of my mouth. Chat, if you continue to be with the man or you're still cordial with the man after you claim he was abusive to you, but you've held photos and you've held evidence in the tuck, and you only bring it to light once you don't have compliance, that's called extortion.
Yeah, that's definitely extortion.
If she had went
Bro,
to the cops
basically
after
backup
January, she
file.
said after January he slammed her face on some, chipped her tooth, gave her all type of bruises.
That's
If she
like
had
a
went
get
to the
out of
cops,
jail
I would
free
have said,
card.
"Oh man, this looks bad." Shit, if there's video, let's see it. DDG, what happened, bro?
As soon as things will go our way,
She
that's
held
what
this
she's
shit for
gonna
4 or
bring
5
up.
months. You don't think that's extortion, y'all?
Yeah, no, that's extortion.
You don't think at some point if
That's
he
blackmail.
wouldn't respect the fact that
Because that's
she's
basically
his boss, she was gonna bring
throwing
this shit out
something
of
in
the
the vote
woodworks?
and being
That's
like,
living in hell. That's
this
living in
is
purgatory.
Plan B.
A woman who got these joints in the tuck, you're a public figure too. It's not like you work at some 9-to-5 job and who gives a fuck if your girl go post that. This shit could ruin everything you got going on. DDG lost all type of deals. Aiden came on early and said it.
Facts.
So if you ask me, this is almost damn near extortion. It's blackmail.
That should be illegal.
At
They should
Planet
treat that
Fitness,
stuff like
there's
it's
a number of ways to get strong, and they all add up
like
to one
inappropriate
membership.
pictures.
The Planet Fitness Black Card. Access any location.
Or at least put a time limit on things. Like,
If you
I
fuck
mean,
up,
unless
I'ma
it's
tell
a
people what
serious
you did a couple months
crime,
ago.
but something like this.
Now give her credit. Supposedly she made a report back in March, but there was no follow up.
you feel,
from what I
Jay?
see. She filed a restraining order in May, and she's referenced the incident back from January. She has the video or pictures from January. To me, that's extortion. Because
You think it should be a time limit?
If DDG,
when-
and I don't know
when
what
to
her
bring up
request was
evidence?
to him, Maybe she said, nigga, stop talking about me online. Or tell your fan, you better go online and tell your fans that I'm a great mom or you love me. If he had did whatever she wanted, and he sat there and took his L in silence, whether or not she moved on with Brent Fires or whatever the fuck she got going on, if she had done that with these pictures or with this evidence had come out yesterday, and that's why I say it's extortion.
I go from DDG to Brent Fires. That let me know
But we
you can
overlook
have
this
anybody
idea of
for
what
it.
real extortion is, because we're saying the act of abuse is so, abhorrent. But let's be honest. This happened then. You had a chipped tooth. You even came online talking about the chipped tooth.
Should've
You didn't
said
say,
something.
yo, a nigga beat my ass and that's why I got a chipped tooth. You made up a lie about it when the public video, at least from what I saw. You protected him then. But you kept the evidence in the tuck if he ever crossed you or if he ever didn't listen to his true boss you. To me, that's extortion and blackmail. I send my prayers to the victims of all true abuse and all people who have been really taken advantage of, whether it's by a man or anybody else. But for the people who, let's say they go through a situation and then they forgive the nigga. And they're like, nah, I love you. Or, oh, I'm trying to get back with you. But they keep that in the tuck and they only bring it out when shit don't go their way. That's a different type of evil. That's a different type of evil, Chad. That's a different
Didn't we
type of
always
evil.
say she evil though?
And I seen some people say, yo, she ain't protecting them. She
This
just
is
lying
not even
out.
nothing
Whether either
out
or.
the ordinary though.
I'm speaking
Females do
towards
this.
how this info is coming out now. By the way, we got the full docket. And by the way, we're going to get back to the Cassie thing. It was just on break. Give me a second.
She won't feel like that in a couple months.
Give me a
She
second.
probably don't even feel like that now. She probably just being spiteful.
We have to, at some point, start analyzing, could abuse be used as a weapon at some point? Oh, okay. Well, you hit, and by the way, there are people saying she hit him, she's put hands on him before, and I guess maybe it was mutual. I don't know. You see, a lot of times I keep telling you, I like staying out of dick and pussy business. Anytime. So here's the thing. Supposedly they've been like, that's what some YouTubers are saying, that there was some violence. They both would, she hit him sometimes. Maybe he would have done some shit. Here's my thing. If they got back together, that's why I always says, anytime, like for example, Boston Richie girlfriend. Boston Richie girlfriend, like got emotional one night. They fought. She went to the cops. I ain't saying a woman shouldn't go to the cops. I ain't saying a man shouldn't go to the cops. But if you get back with that nigga afterwards, how much of a victim are you? If you get back with that person,
listen,
or you didn't go to the cops and get back with him, and you only bring this shit up when this person don't follow your rules because now you think you have an advantage, I think that's called extortion.
Bro, it's super extortion, bro. Because that's just weird, bro. Like, say all this, leave each other, and bro, I've been through this. I've been through this with my baby mom. We went through this. But we just ain't rich, so it's not going to be to that extent.
Sorry.
At all.
We got the full document.
Definitely
here. By
not
the way,
gonna
you
be
can
that
tell she
to
fed
this
this thing to TMZ. Well, it was actually a public filing. On
This is why it's good
But even then,
to
LA
wrap
have
it up.
Domestic violence protections, like how
You
people
can't just be. It's just too many people having kids with just anybody, and I just think that's weird.
We have the full document here. Some of the stuff that TMZ did
People
not
need
put
to
up.
have kids
Here
with
we go,
people
Chad.
they're gonna get married to.
Here we
I
go.
ain't
Some
got no
long
right
ass
to
restraining
talk. I
order.
got two, but
She writes a whole bunch
I
of
don't
stuff.
go through this.
She
Me and
says
my
that-
baby mom, we cool.
She wrote a statement and a half. By the way, this ain't snitching. This is domestic violence. So we ain't even gonna try. This ain't snitching. I'm
Mexico
Halle
is
Bailey. I got
finest.
personal knowledge of all the facts I state below, and if I was to be called a witness, I could competently testify to put that nigga DDG in jail. That's what she says. Look, I'm reading it. I'm the petitioner, Halle Bailey. Declare I'm the petitioner. I have personal knowledge. I could competently testify to what the fuck I've written here. I submit this declaration in the request for a domestic violence restraining order. Daryl Dwayne Granberry, aka DDG. We're having a romantic relationship from 2022 to 2024. Our son Halo was born in 2023. Through our relationship and continue to date him, he's continued to become physically, verbally, emotionally, and financially. Ooh, you see? That's one thing they start throwing into the mix now, chat, that financial abuse shit. I am seeking orders to protect myself and our son from his ongoing abuse. He's a professional YouTuber, Twitch blogger, and rapper. Whenever he wishes to cause upset, he starts bad-mouthing me to his millions of fans. He claims I'm withholding his son or I'm with other men. As a result, I've received threats and hate on social media. He tries to set up drama for his fans. He goes live, ranting about me, alleges I'm keeping Halo from him. This is false. I've requested a set schedule, which he refuses. I'm a public figure as well and subject to public scrutiny and hate. As recently as this morning, okay, all right, so let's figure out what happened on the 13th. Daryl was giving an interview in Miami on TikTok, talking about our relationship, flipping the script, claiming he's getting hated on by his fans. To be clear, I do not go on social media discussing our relationship or any of our issues related to our son. Only he does that. He's the one that creates his frenzy with his and his fan bases. And he's now going online to talk about it. As I said, chat, if they can't.
Well, we'll be back for more tomorrow, chat. I'm going to make sure we get Sturdy in the party because Sturdy is the one that always starts it off.